Hey everybody, so we are here to introduce a brand new series. We are here at the grave of Henry Wise. He was a notorious member of the Blue-Eyed Six. There was a conspiracy to murder. It was originally started out as an insurance scam. Henry Wise actually provided the money for that scam that was come up by George Zimmerman. They were going to take care of this man named Joseph Raber over in St. Joseph Springs. He was sort of, it's harsh to say, but sort of a village idiot. He would go around looking for people to give him money, and he lived in a hovel that had just a ground floor. And so they agreed to take care of him, and they put $30,000 insurance on him, which back in the 1870s was a massive amount of money. And ultimately, they couldn't pay for the $30,000, so they kept $8,000 after 1 year. And when the second year came up and they weren't going to be able to keep the $8,000, they decided to change that plot from insurance scam to murder. And it's said that Israel Brandt is the one that came up with the actual plot to murder him and hired her neighbor Charles Drews to take care of it. That didn't go well. He was a terrifying man, Charles Drews, but not that bright. So I guess he kept on trying to kill this guy and kept on failing, and the guy was completely unaware of this happening. So they decided then to hire Franklin Stickler, who was having an affair with Charles Drew's daughter, and they were going to drown him in Indiantown Run, which they successfully did. Ultimately, they wound up getting caught, and 5 of the 6 men would wind up getting hung for murder or conspiracy to murder. So why are we here? Well, at Henry Wise's grave, this is a great example of stones being cleaned. When we first filmed this, this was dark, like a lot of these other stones that you'll see over all through here. The marble, that's just how, with organic material, it will wind out looking like that, and this is what it would have originally looked like. So people have come around and cleaned his grave and some of his children here, and even one over there as well. That's another part of the Wise family. So either the Wise family's doing it, or somebody saw the video, or just decided, you know, because he's Blue-Eyed Six, he's notorious, to take care of that. So what we're doing, let me get up here because I'm old and it's hard for me. What we're doing is we're going to be doing a brand new series called Homage to History, a homage to history. That homage to history is going to be starting this stone cleaning in cemeteries. We're going to tell the story of the people that are involved. I'm going to show you the tools that I'm going to be using, because it's a really cool process, but it's also, if you don't do it right, you can actually do damage to the stone. I'm going to be starting out with granite stones like my grandparents, just because they're easier. It's less likely to do damage to them. You need to use certain brushes, mainly horsehair type of thing, because you don't want to do damage to the stone, especially as you go into marble, which is a little more porous in this form. I'm never going to touch anything like sandstone or limestone, because you're going to do damage. The intention is there, it's good, but unfortunately you wind out damaging the stone, damaging history, which is what we don't want to do. It's about honoring those that have come before, because sometimes the only nod to somebody's existence is a stone with a name on it. And I think it's cool, one of the people that I follow that does these stone cleaning, she always says it's more than a stone, which is so true. You imagine every single one of these stones, if they could tell the story of the person whose name is on it, what they could say. I've said it before, in cemeteries, you could write books about these people's lives. And this is a way of honoring, it's a way of restoring and preserving history, which is an important thing. And I really have fallen in love with this type of stuff, so I'm looking forward to do it. You have to use a certain type of cleaner. It's organic. Basically, what you do immediately isn't going to necessarily show the final product. You go back 3 months later, and it winds up killing all the organic material and presenting a stone as it used to be. So we'll wind up doing long form shorts. We'll do returns to show what this looks like 3 to 5 months later, and just explore the history of these individuals as well. Tell their story, you know, bring the voice from the stone telling their story. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm probably going to be using, I got to figure out how I want to do this, because I'm using my phone yet here, but I'm going to try to start using the film camera that I have that films from a distance, so you get a full view of everything, That's going to start coming into play with some of these new series like Lebanon PA 250 for the 250th anniversary of the country, and also for it's the nature type videos. It's a double H word. Sharon just helped me come up with it again, and I can't remember it. It's on the playlist. That will be the next one. I will be filming that completely with the film camera. I'll probably be shifting some videos over to that as well that I've done that are in Nature is Best, because I want to try to get them on my playlists sort of more organized to what they actually should be. But this is introduction to the, I can't speak today. Introduction to the new series, a homage to history. I'm going to show you the cleaner. I'm going to show you the brushes that I got. I also have a water thing, because you can't ever use too much water on these stones, because it protects the stone. And I'm probably going to get a bucket, and we're going to wind out then using that with the brushes as well to sort of keep them, so we're protecting the stones as much as possible. But this is a new venture. A little freaked out by it, because I've seen one lady, for instance, she does an amazing job. I think it's Crazy Cemetery Lady, and an older gentleman asked her, hey, I'm probably going to pass soon. Would you be willing to come out and clean my family's plot stone? It just has the family name on it, and then everybody's buried around that. So she did it. She knows what she's doing, and she did a fabulous job. But of course, all the know-it-alls that you get on social media start tearing this poor lady a new one. Like, oh, you're using a wire brush. You're using harsh chemicals. You're doing it. It's like, no, she isn't. She's doing the job right. Calm down, Buttercup. So that part I'm not necessarily looking forward to, because you're going to have people proclaiming, you have to get permissions and things of that nature. So I'm probably going to be starting doing the first one where I'll just do it then and now, and then tell a little bit of a story on some of the people that I'm going to do some of the granite stones, just to get me used to the process over at St. John's Evangelical Congregational Church, where I go, and then eventually get over to Millersburg to do my grandparents, Elmer and Helen Walborn. Then hopefully graduate to some of these marble stones, the older stones that you have to be a little more careful with. But they turn into this brilliant white, and you can see the actual marbling on it. It's just the veins. It's just amazing. Really beautiful, works of art in a lot of ways. But anyways, so I'm going to tell you next about show you the stuff that I use. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody. So this is the completion of the video of our, in essence, introduction to a homage to hometown history, or a homage to history. We're going to be taking this on with the unique stones and cleaning and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to be starting off by doing these until I sort of get my rhythm, because I'm going to be doing a series as well that I'm going to be filming birds. I have them bird feeders, and we're getting quite a few now. It takes a little while to build up the audience of birdies, but I'm going to do that as sort of hometown harmonies as well. But that'll get me used to using the film camera, so I'm acclimated to the point that I can do these 3 new series without maybe necessarily help, and just try to do it in such a way that it'll work a little bit better. So I'm going to start out by probably doing a couple stones over at St. John's. Starting out with the easiest ones possible, granite stones that have minimal cleaning that needs to be done, but a little bit of organic matter, so I can get used to doing it and go from there. But it is a process, and like I said, it sort of scares me a little bit, just simply because people are very opinionated about it, and they think you're ruining everything. So I am not going to every single video show what I'm using, but people automatically assume you're using wire brushes, you're using harsh chemicals, you're destroying the stones. We're not doing that. We're taking our time. We're doing this right. I've been watching a lot of these videos of the people that do it, that they explain how to actually do it correctly. Eventually, hopefully next month, if I do find that I can physically do this well and it doesn't affect me a whole lot, I will wind out getting the D2 cleaner. I'm going to show you the cleaner that I'm using for right now, which is made for headstones, for the organic stuff. But the D2 is the one that, like, Arlington Cemetery uses, National Cemetery. And it's what the people that are doing preserving and that type of stuff, that's what they recommend. That's the one that over time it actually cleans it more and more because it's killing that organic material. So you don't have to go nuts with it. You're in essence getting it on the surface of the stone, watering it down beforehand, then watering it down at the end, and then you just sort of let it, after you do your work on it of cleaning, you sort of let that cleaner go to work. And 3 to 5 months later, the stones really get nice and clean. I had shown you the two stones where they were combined as a husband and wife, and that was still in work, whereas Henry Wise's had been done long enough ago that it worked. It was already where it's going to be clean, and then every now and then you have to go back. So here is the headstone and gravestone cleaner. They say this works as quick as 60 seconds. I've been told a lot, like at least with D2, you're supposed to sort of spray it on and then let it work for about 15 minutes before you start any kind of cleaning process. So that's sort of, we'll test with this thing to see what happens. So I have my water thing here with the sprayer. It's just sort of like your typical sprayer that you would have with spraying chemicals or whatever, but I'm just going to use that for water to sort of spray things off. I also got to get a bucket. I have several of them somewhere, but I want to get a brand new one, so whatever's been in the bucket before will not interfere with the water or do anything weird to the, so its sole purpose is, you just go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you get one of their buckets for a couple bucks. So I just have to go get that. And I have another group of brushes and another thing of cleaner that are coming in as well. So I wanted to have enough that I can do a bunch of stones and sort of get used to. But your brushes that you use, they have to be like horsehair. And that's what these brushes are. I can understand how people would think that's metal, but it's very soft bristle brushes. I also have this one, which once again, it's a softer bristle. It's still in the package. But different types of brushes. This thing, you don't want to use the scouring side. You want to use this side, the soft side. Some people get a little weirdy about sort of getting the organic material off. Everybody I've seen that's done it, if you're going against granite, I can understand that's probably not a good idea to use for like marble and stuff like that at all. But you want to try to have the softest material. I have like a soft, I think it's a, forget what kind of fiber cloth they have, but I have a bunch of different size brushes that are important to have because you want to be able to get into all the nooks and crannies on the surface. You don't have to get worried about getting deep into it because the organic cleaner is going to get in there and is going to take care of that stuff. But that's the package I have right now. I have another, I think like 8 brushes or so that are coming in. I need to get a toothbrush size horsehair brush and sort of pick some of these different things up. There's certain circular brushes and things like that, and they're going to wear down. So you want to have backups and things like that to get these clean. And it's going to be something, these first couple stones, I'm not going to be videoing the process necessarily, the before and after I will, and then maybe tell a little bit of story about the person's grave that I've cleaned. Some of them you're not going to see an immediate reaction. It'll be cleaner, but it's not going to be like instantaneous white stones. It takes time. That's like when we were at Beanoggles Church, the upper cemetery. Somebody went in there and cleaned everything. I mean, it was stunning. It was one of the few cemeteries where every single one of those marble stones was white. So somebody took the time to do that, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to honor history, trying to honor these people. At some point, the only thing that may be left other than from within the family that recognizes that somebody existed is a name on a stone. But these are so much more than just a stone. We need to tell their stories. We need to keep their memory alive as best we can, and we're showing honor to our ancestors and as their descendants. the right thing to do is to take care of these things. So I'm really looking forward to this series. We're going to see how I physically handle it. I have a canvas seat that my dad used for long range shooting back in the 60s and 70s. So I have that I can use that so I'm sitting, I'm not on my feet the entire time, so I'm not going to put myself at issue. It's probably also very hard for me to get down on my knees to do this type of stuff. So with having that seat, that will make things easier. I'm sure I'm going to wind up upgrading certain things as I do this to make it more accessible and easier for me to do and find the most comfortable level I can be at. And then when we do eventually go into when I'm using the film camera for this, I'll probably wind up speeding up the cleaning and then speak over that. And probably for right now, until I get more comfortable with it, concentrate on just the cleaning instead of talking about the person and stuff like that. I just think that winds out being a better way of doing it. So I encourage you to come along, enjoy this series and what we're going to try to do. Tell the stories of people and the memorial stones that are resting over top of them. Tell their stories, tell a little bit of history, and learn a little bit more together. And then also appreciate doing something like this that really is a neat opportunity and privilege to be able to do these types of things. It's just trying to figure out the best path forward with everything, and it's a learning experience. But as always, I want to say thanks for coming along on another series, and we'll see you all about town.